It's an issue, it's a word that we're going to hear a lot after the end of this year: responsibility. Our history. Okay. This is going to sound. Should we even go there? Okay, why do we still keep seeing movies about the Holocaust? Because not a single Jew has yet taken responsibility for what has happened. It was not the Nazis, it was not the Germans, it was not Hitler. It was the Jews themselves. Once they start asking questions, they're going to take responsibility for what happened, and then we can close the book. And then we can close the book on this chapter of our history. Until then, we'll never be able to close the book. It will always be an open wound. Now, this is an extreme, but I had to bring up an extreme so you can understand that even that, we cause it. No soul is a victim. So if even that, we've caused it, imagine the little things in our life. We cause everything. I keep repeating this so we can understand it. We cause everything. We attract everything. The beatings, the rapings, the poverty, the wars. We attract it. Once we take responsibility for it, we can change it. The biggest reason we can't change anything is because we don't think it's ours. We keep talking about peace, peace, peace. I want peace, but inside us, there's nothing but violence. When I asked my higher self something, and he told me that, but inside you there's violence. How could you see peace outside of you? I asked, but what kind of violence? I don't think violent thoughts. Yes, but you do things you don't like. That's violent. And that's why you see violence outside of you as well. I would have never thought that doing things I don't like in my life is violent. But yet it is. So we sit here in comfortable Europe thinking, oh, there's wars in other countries, we need to stop them. First we need to stop the violence inside. In one seminar I was channeling Earth, and Earth said, all the problems you have in the world right now are not because you don't love each other. They are because you don't love yourselves. Our problems are not going to end on this planet when we start loving each other. But they will end as soon as we start loving ourselves. And that's part of taking responsibility for ourselves. It's very easy. We're going to do it now. We're going to start with the smallest thing, and we're going to ask our soul a question. And then the first thing that comes to your mind is the answer. Don't question it, accept it. Even if it doesn't make sense. We're going to think of something in our lives that we don't like. Preferably something, not someone. Because not liking people is perfectly natural. There's nothing wrong with not liking people. Most of them are stupid anyway. Now, slow deep breath. And think of something in your life you don't like. Now, ask your soul, or ask your body, or ask the universe, whatever you want to call it, why did I attract this to my life? And now trust the first thought, or the first feeling, or the first image that came to you. If you want to, continue the question. I don't know what to ask because for everybody it will be different. But let's say it was something simple like because you don't like yourself enough. Continue asking, why do I not like myself enough? Take a slow deep breath whenever you're ready and come back to this chair. If you want to continue with questioning, continue questioning. This is how we find out why we have attracted things in our life. If you think you did not get an answer, just ask again when you go home. One of the biggest reasons we don't believe our soul when our soul talks to us is the answers are very simple. And we think that the universe is complicated and sophisticated. But it's not. The universe is very, very simple. There's a string of books called Conversations with God. For about 5 years I used to see these books on the bookshelves and I never even touched them. Because I thought, yeah right, this guy talked to God. Because I thought God was up there and we were down here. Then suddenly one day I was reading another book and I had an image so clear in me that I was reading this book, Conversations with God. So I went to the bookstore right away, bought the first one, sat down and started reading. After 5 years of not even looking at them, because I couldn't believe that someone talked to God. From the second page, I believed that it was God talking. Why? Because it was so simple. I said, of course, man cannot talk this simply. This has to be God. God, the universe, existence, our souls, our angels, they're simple. So accept the simple answers that you get when you ask questions. They always talk to us. We have gotten an answer to everything we have ever asked. It's just that we didn't believe it. We didn't trust it. In most cases because it was too simple. And we think our problems are not simple. In some cases we don't like the answer. He's not here today, is he? Okay, there's a guy that comes here, he's had like 40 sessions with me. 3 sessions really, but I like to say, I like to exaggerate. And in every session his higher self tells him, it is now time to leave your business. It has nothing more to teach you. And in the meantime he's not well and he keeps getting migraines. And I always tell him, we're not going to ask how can I heal the migraines, we're going to ask what the source is. And every time his higher self will tell him the source is his business. He's not meant to be there anymore. This has been going on for 3 years now. He came here yesterday and he wanted a business reading. I said, no way. You're going to hear the same thing. But sometimes we don't want to hear it and we keep asking and asking because, we don't want to hear it and we keep asking until we get the answer we want. So don't blame the universe if you're not getting the answers you want. That's not, oh, the universe doesn't talk to me. No, it does talk to you. This same author that channeled the book's Conversations with God asked God, who do you talk with? And God replies, the question here is not who do I talk with, the question is who's listening? Because I talk with everyone. If you still think God is too big to talk to you, you can call it soul, you can call it my angels, you can call it my guides, call it whatever you like. God's cool, she doesn't care. So don't, it's okay if you don't want to call it God, it's just fine. Call it something else. I'll tell you what I call God. In one of these books, the author, I think it's the first one, the author asks God, what can I call you or how can I contact you? And God replies, you can call me Charlie, I can still hear you. So since then, I never say God, I say Charlie. And I always get answers. So don't think that God is outside of you. Because it's difficult to talk to someone if you think they're better than you or bigger than you or higher than you or more light than you. Take responsibility that God is just like us. No better, no worse. And then you will take your life into your own hands.